So, in today's talk, I would like to talk about persecution of religions and how it is sort of inevitable that it will happen, that persecution will happen to most religions that are to come from now and then into the future, and how it has happened and how it has repeated itself over history uh, in the past. So, and I would like to say this before I begin reading my script here. There are some big words that I might not know how to pronounce, so forgive me on that and stay with me here. As well as there are some words, especially when I go into the talk about Islam, there are some words that I might not know how to pronounce and might butcher. So again, forgive me on that, and stay with me here and let's get into this. So, in a work titled "The Early Christian Martyrs: Persecution in the Roman Empire," it states the early Christian martyrs were persecuted for their beliefs. Their deaths were seen as a testimony of the truth of Christianity. Rome had never faced such an enemy before, and that 3 decades after Christ's crucifixion, Emperor Nero began the Roman Empire's persecution of early Christians. It all culminated with executions in Nico Medina almost 300 years later. Emperor after emperor tried to stifle the Christian faith with prohibitions, extreme torture, and monstrous methods of execution, but it didn't help much. Roman governors reported that condemned Christians seemed almost elated to the prospect of becoming Christian martyrs. This is also shown in the religion of Islam. In a work titled Massacres of Muslims from Bosnia to Myanmar by Mansour Tariq Khattak, it states history's shelves abound with tragic massacres whose appellations resonate forever in the conscience, that's a big word, see, common to mankind. In this vast array of grim tales rests the Srebrenica massacre, a testament to the atrocities unleashed during the July 1995 Bosnian War. It is here where the forces of Bosnian Serb General Ratko Mladic systematically enabled more see, I can't pronounce these big words. I'm sorry, but I have to make this talk, so I guess we gotta get through it. Essentially persecuted more than 8,000 Muslim men and boys from Srebrenica in a massacre that has been since recognized as genocide by international courts, and it even talks about the more recent genocides in Palestine, stating, in the violent fabric of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a history of blood and suffering have woven deep scars into their body consciousness. A prime example of this outrage is the Deir Yassin massacre in 1948, which left over 100 Palestinian villagers dead by Zionist paramilitary groups. In 1982, Sabra and Hatila massacre saw Lebanese Christian militias with Israeli support in Beirut commit unspeakable violence that would claim hundreds to thousands of Palestinian refugees. They now face continued violence and human rights abuses at the hands of Israeli forces in their occupied territories, propagating the unending cycle of suffering and injustice for Palestinians. And this is even shown in the religion of Hinduism. In a work by Dr. Vinay Nawa, it states, before the arrival of the Portuguese, Hindus constituted an overwhelming majority of Goa's population, estimated to be between 90 and 99% during the 16th century. Over the course of the Inquisition and subsequent colonial policies, this demographic drastically changed by the 20th century. Uh, by the 20th century, the Hindu population of Goa had been reduced to less than 15%. This decline was not only the result of forced conservations and massacres, but also mass displacement. Large sections of the Konkani Hindu community fled to neighboring regions, including present-day Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, and Gujarat. Again, I'm sorry for butchering these names. I know I am. I know it sounds choppy, but please stay with me. The dispersal of these populations contributed to the fragmentation of Konkani cultural identity, with these families losing direct ties to their ancestral lands. So that's displacement, essentially. That is a displacement, not even essentially. What we can learn from this is that the world's biggest religions, and even in every religion, essentially, there will be persecution. There are simply too many religions and too many instances of persecution to go over in today's video, but we will be now focusing on persecution of the forest dwellers. So, you just got the idea of persecution in other religions such as Christianity and Hinduism and Islam. And I'm now going to go into the persecution of forest dwellers and the forest itself, from the earlier instances to just today, even the most recent incident, which was today, at the day I'm posting this video. So, the earliest instance of persecution of forest dwellers, specifically by the humans, because that's who does it about every time. That seems to be who always does it. The humans. So, the earliest representation of persecution of the humans is the displacement and ban laws against the forest dwellers when the humans reign in the forest. So essentially, early forest, right? The forest dwellers have already come about from the monkeys, and were practicing their religious practices. Then the humans came along, and they took the forest. The forest was ruled under the humans' iron fist, and the forest dwellers were pushed into caves. And they could only come out at night to get their food, and they had to worship in caves and fend off the humans that tried to come in the caves and essentially kill them. So that ended only when the forest dwellers decided to come out of the cave and actually fight and defend what they knew was right and what they believed to be right against the humans. And ever since then, there has been persecution of the forest religion and forest dwellers and forest itself by the humans, and specifically the humans, because it's them every time. Another example of that can be in The Return of the Humans, described in Swami Tanji Grimoire, where the humans come back, right, not to be friends, not to apologize for their past atrocities and persecution and murders, mass murders and massacres and destruction of forest property, and as I said, murders of forest dwellers. I meant to finish that sentence, but I didn't get to it. The humans, they would come back, and they would chase the forest dwellers, some of them anyway, out of the forest, and they would go into the wizard hut, and they stole the original painting of the four forest gods, the sun god, or the four holy forest gods, the whole four holiest forest gods, I'm sorry. The sun god, moon god, forest god, and rain god. That is a one of two picture. Only two have ever been made of that picture, and they stole one of them. And so now the forest dwellers are left with the question, is that painting still around? If it's not, then there's only one of those pictures now, and now it is the most valuable forest relic. If there is one, or if there's two, sorry, if the other one's still around, the humans just stole it, if they want to resell it, or if they want to keep it as a trophy of sorts, then it makes that copy of the painting more valuable than the one hanging in the Grand Temple of Swami Tanji, just out of your view right now. Because it's in the human's hands. And that is what we don't want, because we don't know what they can do to that picture, and that picture's sacred. So that brings us to even... There are many other examples. I just don't want to make the video too long. And I would like people... I make these videos at night, because I'd like to get an idea of what video I'm going to make during the day. And usually by the night, I'm a bit tired. I usually don't want to do the video, but I know that I have to get it out there, and I do like that I get it out there. So this video's been particularly hard because of the reading the script that I had here, and the the mispronunciations of words that I've attempted to pronounce, and then also just the harder words that I probably can't pronounce that I'm trying to read it a bit quick, so forgive me on that. So anyway, this brings us to today. Like I said, can't get everything in one video, all of the persecutions ever to happen in the forest of forest dwellers and forest. But today is a notable one, because, and that's why I included it today, because otherwise it would have just ended up in the Wizard Council records and wouldn't have shed light to this channel, but I needed it to be known. I needed it to be known how cocky and arrogant the humans are getting. Today, I, Swami Tanji, and I recorded this too, in the records of the Wizard Council, and physically recorded it. I can't show the video, but of the humans, tinier humans, littler ones, younger ones, than the ones we usually see anyway, walking in the God River, killing animals that they seen. They were killing frogs. They were killing the frog people. They were killing, rabbits that they found. This wasn't in the God River. This was in the mystical forest. They killed a rabbit. And I'm quoting the humans here, the little humans. Kill it, kill it, kill it. And it's dead. It's gone. I'm quoting them, by the way. Like I said, sorry, I'm still tired, but this needs to be known. And I told them, I'm quoting myself, you humans persecute, pillage, and destroy. That's all you humans know. You're all the same. Because I've never met one nice human. Never. Never. And I quote the humans here. That thing with flowers over there, and those tiny homes. So what they mean is Musha Kendra Marshavati's and Mellow Kendra Marshavati's grave, and the fairy houses, right? Just nice fairies living, doing nothing. They said, we will destroy it. We will come back later and we will destroy it. Friends, let me tell you, this happened before. The destruction of Musha Kendra's grave is talked about in Swami Tanji Grimoire, and we've posted about it on the channel. And friends, we moved Musha Kendra Marshavati and Mellow Kendra Marshavati deep into the forest, as deep as you could possibly get into the forest, in order for the humans to not find them, and in order for them to be safe. Right? It has failed. I am extremely sad to say that it has failed. They now know where Mushakendra Marshavadi's grave is, which it wasn't a secret, but they have now threatened to destroy it. And also the fairy houses. So now it's not just the late living goddess's grave that's in danger, but now it's fairies. Now it's their houses. Now it is the forest dwellers' money that we've put into building these houses and acquiring the material for these houses. Now the humans are pushing a boundary further than theft. They are comparable to the demons in the Forgotten Land, my friends. You have to understand this. The humans are evil. They persecute, they destroy, and they pillage. That's all they know. I can't go over the atrocities, the in-depth, deep vision. I can't go into the atrocities of the humans on this channel because I would get striked. I would get banned. I would get I would get my channel removed. It's that disgusting and evil and despicable. And the humans have the audacity to even come back into the forest and persecute more and destroy more and pillage more, despite us constantly kicking them out and us letting them know they are not welcome in the mystical forest, right, to destroy and pillage, as the forest is tranquil and is peaceful, right? Friends, a second war with the humans is possibly on the horizon. I don't want this to be the case. I don't want this. Though I forget the quote exactly. I will quote the Bhagavad Gita here, the sacred Hindu text. Even the Bhagavad Gita understands, this isn't, I'll tell you when I start quoting the Bhagavad Gita. Even the Bhagavad Gita understands righteousness, right? War, I'm quoting Bhagavad Gita now. War is not for destruction or for evil. It is for righteousness. And that's what the first war with the humans was. The first war with the humans was for righteousness, to kick the pillaging and destructful, humans out of the forest, right? And to make sure they know not to come back. It clearly hasn't worked. It 50% worked for kicking the humans out, but they've come back and they're ready to fight again. And we might have to go to a second war with the humans. I don't want this. I really don't. Okay? This is something you can quote of me. Swami Tanji doesn't want war. Okay? I don't believe war is the solution. It even quotes in Swami Tanji Grimoire that war is pointless unless you're being attacked. I'm directly quoting Swami Tanji's Grimoire. War is pointless unless you are being attacked. And right now, we are being attacked from all sides. In every way possible. They have stolen our idols. They have destroyed our temples. They've killed our dwellers earlier on. They've killed dwellers actually recently too, and by dwellers I mean animals, and that doesn't make it any better. That doesn't make it any better that it wasn't I don't know the right word because I want to say humans because you know what I mean. I mean people who look like dwellers. I mean people, right? But we're not humans, we're dwellers. We are not disgusting, despicable humans. But the animals are dwellers too. Everything that lives in the forest are dwellers, and they're killing it. They've admitted to cutting down trees in the forest. They've admitted to destroying things and stealing things. And they've admitted to killing animals and killing dwellers and destroying fairy houses, and they're despicable. I have nothing more to say except for I will keep you updated on the second war with the humans. If that is the case, there will be a Wizard Council meeting held tomorrow to discuss this. Though I would like to thank you for your time. This is one of my longer videos that I had to go over of persecution of religion and specifically the forest religion. but this one instance needed to be talked about today because this is despicable and they're getting cocky and arrogant. So thank you for your time, and thank you for bearing with me through my stutters and mispronunciations and me attempting to sound out words. Thank you.